A lot of people rushed to move to Florida over the past few years, and guess what? Some of them regret it. Whether they made an impulsive decision, didn't do their research, or just had an unrealistic expectation, they're not happy. And honestly, if you don't do your homework, you could end up in the same boat. Hi, I'm Kim Devlin with your key to St. Augustine, and I help buyers and sellers relocating to and from Northeast Florida. My job is to make sure you're making an informed decision about moving here. And I'm here to tell it to you straight so you don't end up regretting it. One of the biggest complaints I hear from locals is that it's too crowded, traffic is a nightmare, and they feel like we're bursting at the seams. Yeah, there's some truth to that. We've had a huge influx of people move here, plus we attract tourists all year long. That means more cars on the road, especially in older parts of the city where the infrastructure wasn't built for this kind of growth. If you're moving here thinking it's going to be this quiet, laid-back coastal town, you're probably going to be surprised by how busy it can be. In places like North St. Johns County, where you used to see nothing but pine trees, now you see construction everywhere. New homes, shopping centers, and schools popping up left and right. Take World Golf Village, for example. A few years ago, it was pretty low-key. Now, you've got a new high school, restaurants, another Publix, Buc-ee's, Costco, and soon a Bass Pro Shop. That's a lot of development, and yeah, it's creating a lot of congestion. So if that sounds like it's too busy for you, maybe you need to reconsider moving to that area of St. Johns County. That being said, the development does bring some perks. We're getting new shopping centers, parks, and even an indoor pickleball facility at the shipyard. Durban Pavilion has added a ton of shopping and dining options and an awesome movie theater. So if you like having amenities close by, this might actually work in your favor. You've just got to weigh the pros and cons. Everybody is different. Now, if you're someone who wants peace and quiet, there are still more rural areas like Green Cove Springs and Hastings and west in St. Augustine. But here's the thing. Growth is moving west. Where there's land, they're going to build. And you can see that they are already making those plans with the new First Coast Expressway coming down from Clay County's Green Cove Springs south and over the river to St. Johns County. So even if you move to a quieter area now, expect more growth to come in the next 10 to 15 years. Now let's talk about something else that's catching people off guard, cost of living. People think Florida is cheap, but that's not exactly the truth anymore, especially here in St. Augustine. A lot of buyers who came in during the pandemic paid over asking price because of the low inventory, and they didn't realize that this would jack up their property taxes. Here's the deal. When you buy a home here, your first year's taxes are based on the previous owner's assessment, which might be low because they bought the house years ago and have a homestead exemption. New buyers move in thinking their taxes are going to stay low, and then bam! Reality hits when the county reassesses the home at the current market value. If you weren't prepared for that, you're in for a shock. But if you're working with a good realtor when buying a home here, they'll explain all of this upfront to you. Now let's talk about CDD fees. These are Community Development District fees, which are common in many new communities here. If you're unfamiliar with them, I've linked a video in the description below that explains them in detail. Here's the key point. If you're looking at master plan communities or new construction in St. Johns County, there's a good chance there is a CDD fee, and this fee will be added to your annual tax bill. They typically range from $2,000 to over $4,000 a year. A lot of people, especially those not used to this type of fee, get attracted by the builder incentives, and they're thinking they're getting a great deal, and they are, but they're not used to what the CDD fee is. On real estate sites, you'll usually see the HOA fee listed, which might seem reasonable considering all the amenities you're getting, but what is often left out is the CDD fee, which covers the bond, operations, and maintenance for the community. You can find this fee on Property Appraiser's site when looking up a tax bill, or we can help you navigate this through our MLS system. The more you know before buying, the better. If you're trying to avoid CDD fees altogether, your options for new communities will be pretty limited. On top of that, insurance has been rising, both for home and auto. Now, I do have to say I've seen my home insurance come down a bit with the new laws in place, but it's still a lot more expensive than most people expect. Even though Florida still seems like a bargain compared to places like New York or California, prices have increased. And if you're not prepared for that, it can be a rude awakening. Then there's the condo market. After the Surfside collapse, we're seeing assessments and fees go up across the board. A lot of condo owners are getting hit with major bills for structural updates and repairs. If you're thinking about buying a condo, make sure you do your research on these condo communities and be prepared for these extra costs. I did another video that goes into details about condos, weighing the pros and cons, and I'll add a link to it at the end. So here's the reality. If you're moving to St. Augustine, Northeast Florida, or anywhere in St. Johns County, you need to adjust your expectations. This area is growing and it's going to keep growing. But if you do your research, come down for multiple visits, set realistic expectations, and really get a feel for the area, you'll know if it's the right move for you. In my experience, the buyers who make the best decisions work with a realtor who knows the area, who dives into the lifestyle they want before even talking about specific homes. My team and I take the time to figure out what kind of life you're looking for, because let's be honest, a house doesn't feel like a home unless it's in the right location. We also walk you through everything I've mentioned to make sure you don't have any regrets down the road. So there you have it. Some of the top reasons why people regret moving to St. Augustine. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but to make sure you're informed and prepared. If you would like to check out my free relocation guide, I've offered a link below for instant access in the description. And if you've already moved here or you're thinking about it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do these issues worry you? Or do you still think St. Augustine is the right place for you? I've added all the video links I mentioned earlier below in the description, and check out this next video for more things to know if you are considering a move to Florida. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.